Hi guys, good morning and welcome back once again. In today's video, I want to show us how to make a shirt. So right here on the board, my chest line of 44, shoulder of 18, sleeve length of 26, round sleeve of 14 and a half, 14 inches, 13 and 8, neck of 17, and then shirt length of 31. Now right here, the first and foremost thing you need to know is that under normal circumstances, shirt measurement is a bit more fitted than our regular senator outfits. So right here, if your customer or if you have a chest line of 48 on your normal senator, you are meant to reduce at least 1 inch or 1.5 inch from the chest measurement for you to be able to have or achieve a perfect finishing or a perfect fitting rather. So every other process of measurements remains the same. Now the next thing you also need to know, like I do tell us in my previous videos, that the area of the neck and the armhole are of great essence. Then how then do we know how to get an armhole? Like the same formula we also use in our senator outfit, which is chest divided by 4 minus 1 for long sleeve. Now this shirt is going to be a long sleeve shirt, so I'm going to make use of 26 sleeve length, which is long sleeve. That means the formula for the long sleeve becomes chest over 4 minus 1. But if it was to be a short sleeve, don't minus 1 inch from it. So having known that, the next thing also you need to know is that in shirt making, there are steps you need to take. Now the first method or the first step is to fold the button allowance, add your hemming allowance, put your shirt length, armhole, neck cutting, shoulder slanting, and everything comes in line. So you should not jump one process or one step before you get to the next step. So right here as well, you also need to know that we have different or several ways of cutting a shirt, but I would like to show you one of the most simplest ways which you can use to cut a shirt, and then which is also similar or which is also familiar with some of us in terms of our senator making. So I'm going to use the process or the method where I have to first of all cut the front part first before I cut the back aspect of the shirt. Now you can choose to cut the both together. That's if you are well detailed in shirt making. But if you wish to have a better or a nice cutting, I would recommend cutting the front first. From the front, you'll be able to place and recut for the back, and then make your extra inch raises and then your slantings accordingly. So right here we are going to use the method of our senator to cut our shirts, and then I will show you how to go about it. Now here on the table I have my required tools, which are my pattern master, my pair of scissors, my hemming gum, my chalk, and then my fabric, and then of course my tape measurement. So right here, the yardage needed for a regular person is 1.5 yards for short sleeve. Then for long sleeve is 2 yards. Bear in mind that the measurement of the fabric is in 60 inches. So first thing you need to do is to fold the button allowance. Then how then do you fold the button allowance? Now in the button allowance folding, you make sure you fold accordingly to the size you so wish. Now the smaller the button allowance, the smarter your shirt. So in my own making of my shirts, my allowance is not surpassing 1.2, 1.3, maximum 1.5 inch allowance. But then if you want to have it on a smarter note, make use of 1 inch button allowance in finishing. So how then do I do that? Normal, you would have used what we call light hasty to gun this region. But in most cases, if you don't have light hasty, there are also something you can do to substitute the light hasty, and then which is using your hemming gum. Now you are going to fold 1/2 inch first. Now this 1/2 inch will be the first folding you will do on your fabric, after which you now fold to your desired width you want, which is 1.1 or 1.2, and then apply your hemming gum under and then hem accordingly. So I will fold now and show us how the folding came out before I hem. So right here, as you can see, I have first folded my 1/2 inch, which I folded. Now you now fold again. Now this last folding will not be in line with your desired width you want. Now the measurement I want to have will be 1.1 inch button allowance, right? So you are the one to determine the folding allowance you want to have. Now don't make it to be too big nor too small. The least you can use is 1 inch, right? And then the maximum I use is 1.5. So I now chose to use at 1.1 inch. So this is the 1.1 inch I will use, and then I will fold this now. After the folding, I will now put my hemming gum and then hem accordingly. So right here, I have folded my first allowance, the second one of 1.1 inch. As you can see, 1.1 inch. Now, you will now put your hemming gum under, right, and then press down. Now this hemming gum should be doubled or tripled, depending on how thick you want the button allowance to be, because the reason you must add a gumming effect here or an interfacing is for you to have a smooth slapping and finishing on your fabric. So you must either put your hemming gum or use your cloth gum to interface it and then gum properly before you now fold. So right here, I'm going to hem, but then this fabric will be used in the designing process of this material. So I will not hem right now. I will finish cutting, and then when I now draft or put in my design of my choice, because the design is meant to overlay or enter inside this button allowance. So I'm going to take my time now to finish the drafting and the folding. I won't hem yet. I will hem when I have determined where my Ankara or my design material will enter in my fabrics, in my shirt making. So in most cases, it's advisable that all the Ankara or whatever you're going to use to combine must enter beneath your button allowance. So if you have any material you want to use to add design that we need to come across the button allowance, don't hem yet. Just finish cutting and then bring out the front, cut the back, then design the front the way you want, and then hem before you now progress to your sewing processes. So I will also fold the one beneath, and then after that I will now show you how it is. So right here, I finished folding my button allowance. I have folded the up one and the one beneath, right? Now the folding should go the other way around. Bear in mind that the two fronts are facing each other. So after the folding, like I told you, had it been it was going to be a plain shirt, you would have hemmed now before you progress. But since it's not going to be a plain shirt, I'm putting Ankara at the center of the button allowance, so I'm leaving it this way. So after cutting, I will now open it up and then record my design and then insert under the buttonhole and then hem together with the design. So after folding, then bear in mind that your folding of your button allowance must be in line with your shirt length plus extra 3 inches. Right here, my length I have is 31. 31 plus 3 is 34. So I should have 34 inch covered, right? So the shirt length must be in line with your the folding allowance, sorry, must be in line with your shirt length plus extra 3 inches. So my shirt length I want is 31. 31 is a very long shirt because the person is a very tall person. So you have 31 shirt length. But then the minimum shirt length you can have for every grown up is 29 inches. Still depends on height though. So right here, my shirt length folding, my button allowance folding ended at 34 or thereabouts. So right here, you mark your desired shirt length. That's one. Then you extend the line accordingly. Then after you must have done the line, now the next thing you will do is your armhole. Now bear in mind that the formula I gave you was 12/4 minus 1. So 44/4 is 11. Minus 1 is 10. Then from this shoulder line, you mark 10 inches down. These 10 inches will be for your armhole. 10 inches down for your armhole. You extend the line this way, right? Extend the line this way. Now, if you were to cut both the front and the back together, you would have pulled the fabric remaining here, bring it to the center of the outfit before you mark. But since we are cutting front first, then next followed by the back, we don't need to bring the back again. We are trying to draft the front in a clear way that you and I will understand how it's being cut, and then we progress to the next step of coupling. So after getting your shirt length and then your armhole line, the next thing we do now is to get the center of the button allowance. You mark a chalk here. Make sure you get the center. This center will be where your readings will start from, both for your chest measurement and for your shoulder measurement. Now, chest is 44, chest is 44, by 4 is 11. from that center line of the button allowance, you mark 11 inches. Then extra 1 inch or 1.5. Let's use 1.5, right? Now shoulder is 18. You also get the center line of the button allowance, which is here. The 18 by 2 is 9. Then you add extra half inch or 0.3 for your sleeve joining. So I use 0.3. That's 9.3 now. You mark. Now convention will tell you that we have what we call upper chest and lower chest, which I have said in my previous videos on center making, which is still applicable to this shirt. So I'll also take it slowly so that you understand the method I'm using in making this shirt now. So when you have marked your shoulder allowance, connect it to the real chest measurement this way. It will take the form of your senator outfit, but I will show you the difference. Then on the armhole line, come down by 2.5 inches, right? 2.5 inches. Now your neck is 17. 17 divided by 6 is going to give you a value. Let me do it and give you the value of this answer. So 17 by 6 gave me 2.83. So I'm not going to deduct anything now. Reason being that there will be nothing like facing turn up on my shirt. I'm only going to add collar. So the deduction is not needed on this shirt cutting. So you have to use the whole value of 2.83, which is 2.9, almost at 3, 2.9. Then from that same line, add half inch to it, then make at 3.5. That's for my shirt neck. Then you draw your line this way. Draw your line this way. Draw your line this way. Right? Then from the intercept, half an inch as usual, or you can use your pattern master, place it in a way that you can connect both of them together with a curve. Right? Then take the slanting to the neck tip and no longer at the edge. Take it straight up to the neck tip. So I have slanted my shirt's shoulder. So the next thing I will do now is to do my armhole trimming. Armhole trimming is gotten by the chest, from the shoulder slanting to the armhole remaining 7.5. The middle is 3.75, which is somewhere here. You get the middle. Then come in by 1.5 inch inwards, and then still use the pattern master and connect. Now this will be one of the most simplest methods you can see online for your shirt making. Then this method is just peculiar to me. I'm not disputing the fact that there are no other better methods, but then if you want to learn from me, I will encourage you to make use of my method and then watch the outcome. So after that, you come to the down part of the outfit. Then bear in mind that whatever you measured on your chest measurement, this is total measurement plus the allowance is 12.5, right? Then measure 12.5 as well here. Then because of the hip aspect, you can make it to be 13, so it won't be tight on the hip. So mark 13 or 13.5, extra 1 to it, extra 1. Then come at the center of the shirt. Then you can reduce half an inch or 1 depending on the person's tummy. But if the person has tummy, maintain the measurement. So I'm marking at 12 here. So from that point, from this point now, come up by 4 inches higher or 3.5, depending on how curvy you want the shirt to be. 3.5 higher. Then from that angle, make your curve to connect the down part of your outfit, and then with your freehand sketch, connect this one, this point, and then connect it out to this other side, right? So you have gotten your shirt front block. So this is one of the simplest methods you can use to draft your shirt. And then as you can see, this is the front block of our shirt. So I will actually take my time to cut this now. Then you can decide to raise this higher, depends on how curvy you want it to be. But I don't like my shirt to be so curvy so that I will be able to fold, because the higher it is, the more difficult it is on folding. At worst, you can make it 4. You can make it 4, and then from there connect as well. It's advisable that you apply the hip area or the waist measurement on the down part of the shirt, so that to make sure that the shirt will be able to lap on the person's body when put on. So this is the front block of our shirt. I'll cut this now and then show us how to cut the back. So right here I'm cutting the front part of my shirt, and then when you come to this part, it's advisable that you raise it high a bit from the neck area. Raise the scissors high a bit so that it can correspond or tally to your neckline after you must have cut your outfit. Then this is the front block of your shirt. Don't forget that we are yet to cut the back. Now this is one of the easiest methods you can actually see on the internet. Then it cut accordingly. So now let's open it up to see how our front shirt looks like, right? Then when you fling it up this way, this is how the front will look like. And then the bottom allowance should be a bit higher than the rear neck. Then this will be trimmed when you must have cut the back and then you want to start coupling. Then you now correspond this so that it will tally properly without having it to be lower than how it should be. So this is actually how your shirt should look like. And then I will now take my time now to fold and then place to record the back. So as you can see, this is how it's coming out, how lovely it is, very simple and nice. And then with the help of this video, I believe all of us can now make a shirt comfortably without having any issues on it. So I will, like I said, this Ankara material will come on the center of this outfit. So that is why I did not hand my bottom allowance, and which I told you that after cutting this Ankara or the material of your choice for your design, you now put under and then hem together with the bottom allowance before you now progress to the next stage. So let's cut the back and show us how the back is being cut. Alright guys, so right here I have folded for the back. Now bear in mind the back is going to fold in double form and not longer on the two edges facing each other. It's going to be folded from one edge inward this way, because the back doesn't have anything like zip allowance or bottom allowance at the back. So you now take your front. Now the front should be placed at the center of the zip bottom allowance. This is a back folding. Make sure the bottom allowance is on the center of the edge of the folding. Then correspond it downwards to this part. Make sure it's straight. Now bear in mind that we slanted our shoulder by a certain inch, which is 2.5. So right here we're also going to raise by a certain inch as well. Now remember, in our senator making, when you slant by 2.5, you raise by 3 bar and then 2.5. But now in this shape making, if you still wish to raise by 3 inches, it will still work, and then raise by 2.5 or 3 as well, it will still work. But then if I'm going to recommend the inch of raising, I will still say maintain the inch you use in slanting your senator and raising, so that the one you are very used to. Then when you have mastered this one, you cannot check if you are meant to adjust or to maintain that measurement. So right here I'm raising by 3 inches high and then raising here by 2.5. Then after you must have done that, you extend the line accordingly. Now this is still the same process with your senator making, cutting. The difference is the bottom allowance that was added. Then extend the line as well in that same direction you do in your senator making, and then come down by 1.5 inch from the edge of your neck region, 1.5 inch, and then make a curve, right? Make a curve in this form. Then this is for the back neck. So I will now cut this out, and then we go down to the next stages or the next step of the cutting processes. So right here we have done cutting the back. So what you just have to do as well, fold the back aspect of the shirt to the front. Now when you are folding, make sure it replicates the same nature of your raising you want to have on your senator outfit like. Then make sure that the two neck are corresponding with each other. Then cut it accordingly how it should be. Then this is how your back neck of your back part of your shirt is being cut as well, just like your non-regular senator outfit. And then the only thing different now is your button allowance, which I told you, or which you know why is added. Then this is how to cut the front and the back of your shirt with this method. Now this method it's not trying to dispute other methods or trying to contradict other methods. I'm just trying to show you one of the simplest ways you can go about this cutting process. So next thing you will do now is to cut the back facing, the sleeve and the cuff. Then bear in mind that the collar, which is one of the most important aspects of the shirt, comes last after you must have coupled your shirt. And then the last thing you will do on collar and then the folding of your shirt at the hemming allowance side. So right here, let's cut out the part of the shirt which is the interfacing. So right here, I want to cut the back facing or the Q. So what you have to do as well is just fold accordingly to the size of the back block, and then place the back outfit on the facing, and then make sure that the facing is not touching the armhole. That's the most important thing you need to know. And then the facing should be at least 2 inches higher than the armhole. Bear in mind that folding allowance is also included. Then you cut the back facing in line with the shape of your neck you have, and then this is how to cut your back facing or back Q of on your outfit. And then after that, now have your shape of your facing you want. If you want to be a straight line facing or a V-like shape facing, whichever one you want. So I'll make it to be a V-like shaping. So right here, the front facing is done. Don't forget to differentiate the front and the back by marking a chalk across your fabric. Then when you have done this now the next thing you do now is to cut your sleeves, which I will also show you how to cut the sleeves and the cuffs of your shirts.